Welcome on in, Dragon Folk. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. It is time for our round 2 against our opponent Teppa here in the Clash Bash. Season 1 is kicking off and we are currently just getting rocked left and right, but I did want to make sure to record the games and show them all to you to kind of show you a little bit about what Clash is like, and even give you some idea as to what the matchups are looking like. We're not decided on what a meta looks like here, so we are doing our darndest to make sure that we get that situated. We see where the power level lies. We see where the heroes stand on their own personal tier list through the data that we collect, and then move on from there. But today's second round is going to be me on Dromai again against Kano. So another wizard versus illusionist matchup here. I personally like the odds of me into a Kano matchup a lot better, but 20 life while your opponent plays Kano is a little rough. It's just a little rough because 20 life can easily be taken care of. We saw how well I did with Arcane Barrier in our last game. If you missed it, our last game was against an Icelander. You can go ahead and check it out somewhere up over here. And that game, I took way too much arcane damage that I didn't need to, and I ended up losing. So I hope I don't make the same mistakes today, and we can kind of talk over my general game plan, what happened, and how the game turned out. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Alrighty, so it is going to be me going first here on Dromai. I'm going to play my blue sweeping blow, go ahead and get me a little bit of ash. And then I have the wonderful Dromai Miragai combo in here. Obviously, I can play both of them here. And the immediate Kano trigger to go ahead and filter some stuff out. I really was expecting quite a bit of power from this first turn. But starting at 5 less life than me is not as detriment as it is in Classic Constructed. I mean, having 10 less life in Classic Constructed is insane compared to just like the 5 here. My opponent's going to go ahead and they're going to play Emeritus Scalding. And I can only AB 1 here because I do not have any of my Ash Wings out. So I go ahead and pitch the Miragai to block out 1, take 3 damage. And then I'm going to go ahead and play my Dromai because my opponent doesn't have any cards in hand anymore. And I'm going to swing my Dromai for 3 and then pass my turn. And this is important because I want to make sure that I have AB for my opponent. If I don't have enough AB, I can't block out a lot of their stuff. Arcane Barrier is just really, really important, especially when wizards can just do the nastiest amount of stuff to you at instant speed. So this is a Scalding Rain coming in for 2. I can only block 1 here. So I'm going to get another Ash. My opponent's then going to come in with a Snapback Red, which is kind of wild. A red Snapback. I'm not going to block any of it because it's just arcane damage. And then they have another Snapback. So they had all the stuff they needed for a double Snapback turn. I go ahead and pop my Silken Form. So I can go ahead and block out 2 of that 3, take a little bit less, and now we are at an equal life total. My turn then is Rake the Embers, not something Kano wants to see, because that means that I now have the ability to block out even more of their arcane damage, and they're not going to be able to prevent any of it pretty much because AB, they're not going to make sure any resources that they send to me are going to go to my dragons. Singe is a card that Kanos do tend to run sometimes, but even then it's normally the blue version and it only kills 1 Ashwing. So we get to come in with all of our dragons here, bring the damage down a little bit. They're going to be sitting at 8. I'm at 12. We still have Glory Seeker up. We still have Silent Stilettos. We still have Sash of Sandakai. We still have some stuff that we can do. And now we pulled into an Asvali, a Cadaverous Contraband, and 2 red dust-ups. So again, unfortunate that we got an all-red hand. This is not going to be good for us if my opponent decides to play something nasty here. Lessons in Lava comes in. It's an AB for 4. Now I could choose to do 4 here and block it all out. But what I do instead is I pitch 3, so they only can bring something with, you know, 1 or less resource from their deck to the top of the deck after they shuffle. It's gonna be a Blazing Aether or a Singe. So there's that Singe trying to clean up my Ashwing targets here. I then use one of my Ash that I just made from using all that AB to then make an Asfly. Now again, I make the crucial error here of not having cards in my hand. With no cards left in my hand, there's nothing left for me to AB at all besides destroying my Sasser Sandakai and blocking out 1 damage. 1 damage isn't going to do anything to me if Kano decides to go nuts when I have 11 health and they have an arsenal. So they're doing their Kano thing. They went ahead and banished a Reverberate, which they could play at instant speed. They're going to find another card down there that's going to put it on top of Voltic Bolt, also not something you really want to see. And this is just because they're nearly dead this turn if they can't get the kill on me. And I really just don't think I know how to play into Wizards a whole lot. It's hard for me to keep cards in my hand and still be able to play on my turn, but also my opponent's turn, especially since I don't have a lot of blues in a deck like Dromai. So my opponent's going to go ahead and throw that Reverberate at me, and then the Voltic Bolt. So Voltic Bolt technically first, and then Reverberate. Voltic Bolt is coming in for 3. I have no choice but to take it. So it's just raw damage, not an end of the world thing. Reverberate comes in, and Reverberate doesn't do much of anything there. So I'm going to have it also deal its 3 damage. I'm now down to 5 when I only have no cards in hand. My opponent's got a blue, or my opponent might have a blue, I should say. But I'm going to swing with Dromai. Yep, there's that blue Singe. I then get to swing with Asfly, dealing 1 arcane damage to him. And then I get to come in with my Ashwings. And then that's pretty much threatening enough. You know, they get to block out a little bit with their equipment, but the only thing they have is Iron Rock Gauntlets to block with. Everything else has 0 block power. So this leaves them just alive enough. They only have 2 life. I'm at 5. This is a pivotal turn for them. I draw into 2 blues though, which is pretty good. So obviously my opponent can play cards on my turn. If I try to play this Thamai, they will respond by trying to kill me. So instead I play Rake the Embers, keeping both of these blues in my hand, because I know dang well that if they try to come in with anything, I can pitch blues and I'll be fine. Kano's going to go ahead and banish a Prognosticate. So that is 1 damage, maybe 2 if they Crucible. And then they go ahead and banish a blue Aether Flare. Now the Aether Flare is much like Aether Wildfire, where it pumps up the rest of your AB card, your arcane damage cards, I should say. And you want to make sure that it's going to deal as much as it possibly can. Here though, they play Aether Flare, where they should have done Crucible first and then Aether Flared. But I believe it's also to bring the damage up of the Prognosticate. So I block out the Aether Flare. Aether Flare is only trying to deal 1. I block out 2, or I block out 1 with my Passing Mirage. And I know that I pretty much win with AB next turn, or with arcane damage next turn if I can help it. But I also win with this turn because I still have yet to attack. So they've pumped pretty much everything. I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. Again, on their like big final turn, for me to draw 2 blues was really important, because if I didn't, I probably would have taken a lot more. But I do also think that their banishes were not very great. They, you know, it was like maybe threatening 3 some damage if that happened, and that's not enough to kill me. So they still would have died. But it's fine. We get to come in, we get to do the thing, we get to play the game, and we get to take down the other wizard that's in this format. So good to see it drop down to Kano. I'm always excited to win matches with Dromai. It was very close. Again, I don't really think the deck does enough in defensive nature to kind of build that up. That's why I'm thinking about putting stuff like Sigil of Solace in there, or maybe just mainlining the Oasis Respites so that I can be more defensive, because Wizards they're just the worst. And so it's very difficult for me to build a board state, do that. It's much better if instead I wait for them to go through all of their reds, because I can just pitch blues to them, or I could play cards that prevent 4 damage from their attacks. That'll go ahead and leave me at a good place where I'll be able to just swing back, even if it's just with 1 dragon a turn. If I can prevent enough of that damage to myself, it will be very, very much so a fatigue game instead of a race. But Wizards just be doing wizard things, and Dromai just be making dragons. It's a very contentious matchup, but I think it's still worth it to check out. So if you guys like the video, make sure to go ahead and give it a little thumbs up down there. Make sure to smooch that like button. You can also subscribe to the channel as well. It's completely free, helps me out a whole bunch. And if you're really feeling up to it, you can even become a channel member and help us out a little bit more. I always appreciate it. Obviously, anything to help keep the lights on. All of our channel members do get exclusive videos for themselves, as well as emotes for when I go live every Thursday. So if you wanted to be a part of that, you can always go ahead and check out the tiers that we have available here on the channel. And make sure to leave a comment in the video. Let me know whatever your favorite color is. But also, let me know how you feel about the Kano matchup into Dromai. I like Kano as a hero, but I do realize there is a lot of people who do not like Kano at all. And I feel like Kano still plays pretty well into the younger formats, especially ones that limit the cards that he can run. Because you don't have cards like Aethered Wildfire. You don't have insane, crazy cards like, well, I guess really it's just Aethered Wildfire. But there's options for him here to still be pretty viable, but you don't get the entire full combo mechanic like you would in Classic Constructed. But let me know how you guys feel in the comments down below. I always appreciate you guys checking out my videos and checking out our gameplay. Make sure to, again, be awesome. Continue to take care of yourself. Continue to have fun. The flesh and blood. And I'll see you all in our next video. Nerd out.